Hey, I got the opportunity to go shopping this past weekend, so I wanted to do a quick haul video for you. I don't have a ton of stuff. I have like 6 different items, but they're all different kinds of items, and some of them are new to me and some of them are things that I've had before and I know that I really like. So, and I've had all of these for a few days, so I've gotten a chance to try them out. And actually, believe it or not, none of these are MAC. First thing I wanted to show is the Palladio Herbal Foundation Primer. I like this because it is in texture almost a dupe for the Smashbox original foundation primer. It's very, very smooth. It really smooths out your face. It provides a smooth canvas for your foundation to go on. I think this is around $10, whereas the Smashbox one is around $30 or $40. And I'm not necessarily saying this is just as good as Smashbox, but it's very, very similar, and I've had good luck with it, and it's a lot cheaper. Next is also kind of a skincare product. It's the Clinique All About Eyes eye cream. I realized a couple years ago that it was probably time for me to really start caring about my skincare, because it's getting to the time where I'm gonna have to start worrying about like wrinkles starting and that kind of thing. So I thought this was a good eye cream to start with, because it doesn't necessarily have anti-aging properties in it, I don't think. It's just meant to moisturize the under eye area, and it has a lovely rich texture, and I use this in the morning and at night. So if I blend it in well, it does settle into the skin, so it doesn't make my under eye too oily or anything to for the concealer to stick, but I really, really enjoy this. Next is actually a perfume. This is, you probably can't see it, Versace Bright Crystals. I got a sample of this a couple months ago, and ever since then I have been obsessed with obtaining this perfume. This is the roller ball of it, but my problem has been like the smallest bottle is still like $50 or $60, and I like to shop, but normally if I'm going to spend $50 or $60, I want to get a few things with it, not like one thing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I finally found a roller ball of it. This was at Sephora and it was 20 bucks, so I'm willing to drop 20 bucks on it. It's hard to describe the smell. It's sweet without being too sweet. I'd almost say that it's almost like a year-round smelling perfume. It doesn't smell too summery. It's not too heavy. But I really, really like it. So if you get a chance to smell this, please do. I really, really like this perfume. Next is a product I have not made my mind up about yet. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. This is a long-lasting makeup setting spray, and this was $9 at Ulta. It's kind of sample size, whereas, I mean, again, like, I think the full-size bottle is like $30 or $40, but I don't know for sure. And I've used this a few times. I almost think of it as like hairspray for your face, and to be perfectly honest, I haven't really noticed that big of a change with it. Like, I'm gonna keep using it to see if my opinion changes on it, but it doesn't, I mean, it's a fine product. It doesn't seem to break me out. It doesn't feel sticky. It doesn't smell weird. I mean, it's a pleasant product to use, but I don't really know if it necessarily works that well at helping my makeup stay all day. I already use like long wearing foundation, and I powder my makeup, and so I mean, maybe that has more to do with my makeup staying than this does, but this is $9, so if you just want to try it, you're not out a whole lot if you don't necessarily like it. Next is a Stila product. This is Cherry Crush Lip and Cheek Stain. It's a clicker dispenser, and it's like a gel that's in here, and I really like it on my lips. And I like it on my cheeks as well, but once it dries, it sets, which is a good thing, but sometimes I don't always necessarily have the blush where I want it on my face before it sets, so you have to work with this really, really quickly on your cheeks and make sure it blends and you get it to where you want it to look, the way you want it to look before it sets. But it does stay well on the cheeks. On the lips, it probably stays as well as any other stain. I have to usually reapply it like every few hours or so. Maybe I'm not using it correctly. But this was, I think, about $25, and considering it's a multi-use product, I think it's a good deal, and the color is lovely. It seems like it's the kind of like rosy reddish pink that would look good on most skin tones, but that's the Stila Cherry Crush Lip and Cheek Stain. And my last thing I'm so excited about, I know this isn't anything new, but I finally got a Naked palette. I have a story to tell about this. First off, just in case you haven't seen it, I mean, who hasn't, but The inside has, I believe, 12 different eyeshadows. Create things, looks for work. You can create smoky eyes, and it has this double-ended pencil with Zero and Whiskey at the bottom. Of course, these are really, really difficult to find right now, and I had been, I was signed up on Urban Decay website for them to alert me when these came back in stock. I checked every Ulta and Sephora that I'd visit. Like if I was out of town and I found one, I would check in to see if they just happened to have any on hand, and of course they never did. But the other day, I dragged a guy friend with me into Sephora, and the poor thing was totally humoring me as I wandered around like a kid in a candy store, like I am most of the time when I'm in there. But of course, there was the Urban Decay display, and they had a place for the naked palettes, but no naked palettes. So just because, I went ahead and asked the guy, they actually had an abnormally high number of guys working in this Sephora, but he was really nice, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any in right now that are available. So I'm like, okay, fine, that's cool. I'll probably be able to get one eventually. So I went around and picked up a couple other things. Sorry, this story's getting long. I picked up a couple other things, and when I got to the checkout counter, he was the one there, and he rang up my other stuff, and then he pulled out this naked palette from the bottom of the desk, and he's like, Merry Christmas, and I'm like flipping out. I felt really bad for the guy I was with because I was almost in tears. I mean, like, to him, he has no idea why this would be so exciting for me. Apparently, they had been holding this for somebody for months, and the person had never actually came in and picked it up, so he asked his manager if it was okay to give it to me because he wanted to make my day. Anyway, and then, ironically, 3 days later, I get an email from Urban Decay that I can go ahead and order one of these if I want to. So that kind of took a little bit of the special away. I thought about ordering another one anyway, just because, but I mean, I felt like that was a little, I mean, this one will probably last me a pretty long time anyway, but I've only gotten the chance to use this a couple times. I really, really like Sin, this color right here. I feel like it's almost an exact dupe for Stila Kitten eyeshadow, which I really, really like. I also really like Dark Horse and Virgin. I haven't gotten a chance to use these darker shades down here. I haven't used the gold yet. But I've used their 24/7 pencils before, which are down here. But yeah, I guess I don't really have much else to say about it. If you have any questions about any of the products that I mentioned, if you want to ask me if anything about them, you're welcome to. But anyway, thank you for watching. Have a good day.